Novena in preparation for the consecration to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Day 5. The obstacles which prevent us from deriving fruit from the devotion to the Sacred Heart. The obstacles that prevent the deriving of fruit from the devotion can be reduced down to 4: tepidness, self-love, secret pride, and certain unmortified passions. It is out of these 4 principles, like 4 fatal springs, that all the faults and imperfections are born, that hinder so many souls in the path of virtue, destroying the best and most generous resolutions, which ultimately spoil the fruit of the holiest of exercises. First obstacle: tepidness. The devotion to the Sacred Heart is an exercise of ardent love. The Redeemer's heart asks for pure souls that are capable of His love, ready to receive His favours and go to the grade of perfection that they are destined to. This cannot come to be in those who are tepid. A tepid soul remains in a blind state, caused by tyrannous passions, continuous dissipation, the multitude of venial sins it commits, and by rejecting the graces of heaven. As the devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus is a continuous exercise of ardent love, it is clear that tepidness is one of the greatest impediments to fruition. Self-love. The great difference between spiritual people and those who are not is that the latter's self-love acts without disguise. Self-love. The great difference between spiritual people and those who are not is that in the latter, self-love acts without disguise, while in the former, it is less visible and somewhat better disguised. It is necessary to do violence, raise war against the passions, to destroy or at least mortify our self-love to become true disciples of Christ and reach a true love for Him. Jesus will never recognize His true friends of His heart, those who are too attached to their comforts and who only love themselves. He told us very clearly who His true servants are. So, therefore, whoever of you does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. Secret pride. One of the greatest obstacles to our perfection is secret pride. If she is overcome, all the other enemies would be weakened. Pride is the enemy's greatest weapon, often used in the most subtle of ways. For example, in our downfalls, when we fall into sadness and desolation when we do not succeed, or in our victories, when we feel joy and conceit when we are praised and honoured. All of these are proofs deep-seated in vanity that motivates us. The love of Jesus Christ cannot be compatible with a vice, which is so opposed to it. How could this divine Saviour, who made humility the first of the Beatitudes, the foundation of the spiritual life, the first step on the road to virtue, how could He who invites His followers to learn of Him because He is meek and humble of heart, be loved by those who resemble Him so little? This sincere humility of spirit and heart constituted the distinctive character of Jesus Christ. It is therefore impossible for us to be animated by His Spirit and dwell in His Sacred Heart unless we have the true spirit of humility. Some unmortified passion. The 4th obstacle from which the faults that impede or extinguish the love of Jesus, and consequently the devotion to the Sacred Heart, are certain unmortified passions that we have kept and that sooner or later are usually the fatal cause of a great unhappiness. Normally, we want to give ourselves completely to God and consequently declare war on our vices, but sometimes there is some dominant passion that we reserve to deceive us without scruples. There is always some good excuse of leaving a hiding place in the heart of one of our enemies. But whoever has a great love for Jesus Christ must rid himself of all dominant passions. Let us put ourselves in the presence of God to meditate upon these truths, and ask the grace to be able to understand our defects and increase our desire to overcome them. Today's resolution: let us do an act of renouncement by overcoming laziness in something that costs us. Ejaculatory prayer of the day, to be repeated throughout the day. Glory, love, and gratitude to the Sacred Heart of Jesus.